and reviews, man. We back and y'all know how we do. It's your boy Rob and Ja.
Yeah, man, it's the home of hip hop news and cultural commentary, and we have some more negative nigga news for you. You know, that's what we
You know what time it
specialize
is.
in.
They know what
Uh,
time it is.
Keefe D has been determined to talk himself into a penitentiary lately. Everybody knows about that. He's admitted multiple times to playing in a role in the 1996 killing of Tupac Shakur.
Yeah.
If you are not up to speed on that, you could go to our community section at Shrewd News and Reviews and see our Keefe D short. But since then, Reggie Wright has responded, and what he's responding to is the allegations that he has something to do with Biggie getting killed. And that's
Now, before we get into this,
Okay.
y'all, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, man. Hit that like button and comment for us. It pushes us in the algorithm. We really appreciate that. And we appreciate it for real.
Yeah, and I saw in our analytics that 97% of the people that watch the videos are new watchers, you know, or people who are unsubscribed. I'll say that. So if we could get some of that 97% just to hit the
Y'all
subscribe
go ahead and hit
button,
that subscribe button.
that'll really do a
Show
lot.
some love. It's free. It's free.
So let's get into what Reggie Wright is saying in response to the allegations of Keefe D. Keefe D has been doing. Is it fair to say that Keefe D has been doing a fair amount of snitching? I mean,
or has he been going on tour? Because I mean, if you look around, he's been talking about the
he's
Biggie,
on a
the
snitch
Tupac
tour. You can learn more about Keefe D snitching on the Art of Dialogue channel, and you can go to Bomb First. But I'm not saying nothing controversial. The man been doing a lot of talking. Whether you think that's right or wrong, he giving us all the deets. But let's hear what Reggie Wright had to say about Keefe D and the allegations. Let me go ahead and just get that. All right, let's go.
It's asked, if he's worried about going to jail for, his involvement with Tupac. He always says, well, if I go, Reggie needs to go with me for his involvement with the Biggie situation. Why does he say this, and what is your reaction to him constantly saying that?
If I go, he got to go too. That's crazy, but let's go ahead.
That's his opinion, because he think Reggie and Suge and stuff had something to do with the death of Biggie Smalls. Like I told y'all, when I first started this shit, so I don't give a fuck what niggas say or think about what Reg and Suge or anybody supposed to did to Biggie. That didn't bother me. People get accused of something they didn't do and wasn't involved in all the time. But I said, I'm here to defend my name and myself for the allegations that were made about Tupac Shakur. Because that was somebody that ultimately
it's asked.
Okay, I respect that. For anybody who doesn't know, Reggie Wright was deeply involved with Death Row Records. He is a former police officer. There have been a lot of allegations about him being a dirty cop. I don't know if there's any proof of that. He recently did have a short prison bid. He's home. He had some health scares, but this is a guy who knows a lot about that death row era. That seems like such a long time, but I think Tupac was only on death row for what? A matter of months?
Yeah. He was on death row for some months, but
what's your initial reaction?
My initial reaction to this, Keefe D, for him to say something like that, man, if I go, he gotta go with me. I don't like dudes like that, dog. Listen, I don't like it like that. Hold yourself down, bro. Don't feel like if you go down, you got to take the whole ship down type of dude. I can't respect that.
Yeah. And it put you supposed to be this big time gangster, right? He refers to himself as a Compton Street legend. How you telling on people about a killer you was involved in? Then it's another one that you ain't have nothing to do with, and you over here talking about it. How is that street? So, and plus, I need you to have some kind of proof. Keefe D is also a guy who kind of put out there that the government was involved in Biggie's assassination, which I personally, is possible, but I'm very skeptical of that. I don't believe it. I think that these older dudes, he's allegedly on drugs now. I think you gotta put more of an effort into making it juicy for these interviews. How long you gonna be around here recycling Tupac stories and stuff like that? Now you got to make it juicy. All of a sudden, the government needed to get rid of Biggie. Come on now, Biggie. I mean, even with the Tupac thing, when they put the government in it, I don't believe it. But Biggie, I mean, at least with the Tupac stuff, they can say, Tupac was a revolutionary.
Yeah, he was yeah.
Biggie wasn't on that, man. Biggie was talking
Frank
about
White.
Come on, man. Biggie was talking about hitting him in the A, throw him over the bridge type stuff. The government had to get Biggie out of here for that. Really?
Yeah.
It's hard.
I can understand where you come from. It's hard for me to believe that too. I think it's just negative Negro business, man. We understand how this happens in the streets, bro. Like,
the negative Negro news cycle is crazy. Saying you gotta fight to stay a part of it, and you gotta come up with some new stuff. So I personally don't put a lot of stock in what DeAndre Smith has to say. We're gonna refer to him as DeAndre Smith. Metro homicide detectives are gathering evidence that they found in Keefe D's home recently. I don't know how far this is going to go, but we do know that the Las Vegas Metro served a current search warrant on Keefe D's house. They're looking for evidence that might be tied to Tupac's September 7th, 1996 slaying. We do know Keefe D publicly admitted to sitting beside and handing the gun to Tupac's killer. There are some people who believe that he might have been the one that actually pulled the trigger. He was the elder statesman, if you will, in the whip. The other guys were allegedly just kids.
Right.
Another element to this is they're saying that Suge Knight could be called to testify in this case.
Yep.
With all this talking that Keefe D's doing, obviously Keefe D wrote a book called Compton Street Legend. He believed that he could tell this story without being charged. That might not be the case now. I don't think it's just a blanket immunity to where you could do anything. I think if you do a lot of talking, there's ways that they could bring the charges back up against you. Obviously, they served the search warrant on his house. And in the past, just want to say this. Knight and Tupac's cousin refused to cooperate with authorities. There's also another bodyguard named Frank Alexander that was in the car behind him. This guy has refused to testify in the past. The reason why people are thinking that Suge Knight might be inclined to testify this time is his luck has seemed to be, it's running out at this point. He's sitting in jail. If he gives information on a murder, could he stand to get that sentence reduced?
Probably. You know how the justice system works, man. They trying to give everybody a break once you tell and give some information. We see what happened to your boy, the one who you like, New Orleans, the stepper. What's his name? Got them bodies and he got out now. Your boy, your guy. Not Boosie, the one who beefing with Boosie. Gangster, Terrence Gangster Williams. Somebody who was a real stepper.
Yeah.
I mean, he told on some people and got out. You get what I mean? So I think it's opportunities for steppers. When you stepping and you got 30 years, go ahead and tell on some people, man. You might get out,
Yeah. So you consider Suge a stepper?
Yeah. Suge is a definitely stepper. He
definitely stepper.
Yeah.
Suge was putting in pain out there. He hanging white boys by the ankles and getting them to sign documents and stuff like that. So Suge was really out there. He was really pulling up on people allegedly. Mm-hmm. So I think that there's a conundrum there too, because if he did tell on Keefe D, DeAndre Smith, would it really be that bad? I mean, you snitching on somebody that is already snitching, and this is the man who killed your homeboy. The man shot at you, hit you in the head.
Grazed you in the head, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's saying that he handed the gun, but still, that's to me, that's the same thing. You handed the gun to the person that shot me in the head, or whether you did it, all of y'all got to see me.
Right.
All of y'all.
Right. I do feel like, I feel like the West Coast, the street politics is a lot stronger than anywhere else. I think the non-snitching is a lot more. Yeah. They hold that, I feel like, a little bit stronger.
They do.
Than anybody else. So I feel like,
Go ahead.
Suge will definitely, I think, how much time he got, how old he is, he might as well, man. You know what I mean?
Listen, Suge's older right now. I understand the politics behind not snitching and this and that, but you know, gang members, they usually recruit people when they're very young and impressionable. A lot of people don't have a choice. Maybe Suge has reached a level of maturity. At some point, you might gotta save your damn self. I mean, who is he really being loyal to at this point? There's a man that tried to get you out the way, and you could just say a little something. I mean, he been talking himself into the penitentiary for years now, whether it be a Vlad interview, or the dialogue interview. You know what I'm saying? He's taking shots at Bomb first. This is, I always tell people, I hope I'm never put in that position. I always stood tall because I moved by myself. I ain't really got no co-defendants or nothing like that. But I've always been one to say, listen, there's some situations where you might have to tell. You know what I'm saying? It might be a self. It might be like Keefe D. He told on some people who ain't here no more. It was an opportunity to get out. He's still calling himself a big Compton legend and everything like this. Let me ask you, Bob, is one of those situations where telling might be the best option? I mean, if he could get out of jail for telling on Keefe D.
Yeah, I hope I'm never in that situation like that, man, because I don't, I've been brainwashed on the code. I don't want it, right. I've been brainwashed from the code. I feel like you should stand on what you're doing. If you're doing it, bro, face up to it. So I don't like to feel like I'm going to take somebody away from their kids. I couldn't do it. But I can understand somebody doing it,
Let me tell you something, right? Listen, man, I got to keep it real. We on here to be real, right?
Right.
If you are involved with handing a gun to somebody that hit me in the head with a bullet, you done killed my homeboy.
Yeah.
And I'm in jail, and my opportunity to pass them gates is to tell on you. Might have to get your ass out the way. I might have to get you out the way. I'm going to keep it real. Like, listen, if we in cahoots and we did something together, I'm going to hold it down. This is what I did. I'm going to carry it. But this presents a unique opportunity.
You beefing with me?
Come on,
I can see. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
I got to get you out the way.
And not give a damn about what the streets say.
Okay. You feel me? Because I'm going to be back with my family. I'm going to be getting money. The Suge going to get movie deals. He going to be doing interviews. Suge going to be all right. I think they'll forgive him. Gunna went number one. And it was, I think, was a little bit more dishonorable than what that would be. And, we kind of forgave Gunna. Some of us did. I did. I was too far. I'm sorry. I forgive him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not in YSL. The album was fire. He went number one. I feel like Suge, listen, this is the time to do the math. Let's see what, we'll see what he does. Reggie Wright had a little bit more to say. He was talking about the veracity of Keefe D's claims and, how trustworthy this guy is. Just a little more clip.
Be worried about what a known liar. So y'all say. I say he's a known liar on a lot of stuff now because he's trying to get some money. But that shit that he said when he was snitching and working and going to setting up 10 people, and when he was telling on his nephew, T, Terrence, and Big Dre, and himself, he was telling the truth on that shit. Because he was trying to get out of a case. Because all they had to do was catch him in one lie.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. They be keeping the code, protecting people that done broke the code. At some point, it looks dumb. Now, I would have never been able to talk like this back at 18, 19, 20 years old. I'm about to be 40. I got to rise above the dumb shit. It's not working.
Yeah, self-preservation. You got self-preservation.
Especially if we're not talking about your guys. This is somebody that tried to get you out the way. Another thing, Keefe D actually blames everything on Puff Daddy. The snitching just don't stop. He say he would have never even known about a Tupac if it wasn't for Puffy. And Puffy was the one that pitted the Bloods and the Crips against each other. So looks like Keefe D wants Puffy to see the inside of a jail cell as well. What do you got to say to that? What's the reaction?
I think so, man. It's one or two things. He either trying to make a juicy ass story so he can keep getting money, because we got to think about the money side of it, the business side of what he's doing. He's basically, he could say something and it could just go away, or he could say some real juicy stuff to just keep him going and keep that check coming.
I think so. You got to pick and choose with Piffy. Like you got to take it on a case by case basis.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's true, but it is a hell of a story. I will say that. He even threw a threat at Boosie. He said, Boosie, you know, I'm paraphrasing, but he told Boosie to watch his mouth or else he might get touched out of here for you know, getting involved in other people's business, you know, speaking on who's a snitch and everything like that. And it's funny, you tell him, but at the same time, you threatening people out here. And you know, you criticizing them. Keefe is out of control. He's off the Richter.
He's definitely out of control. He out of control. I think he got to have some kind of connections with the DEA, FBI, something. But hey, listen, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. I want to know how y'all feel about Keefe, man. You know, I heard in the comments, I was looking in the comments, y'all was going in. You know, we had a lot of comments on that Keefe D, you know. So I want to know what y'all think.
If you like what you hear, like and share, comment. We got the best comment section on all of YouTube. Y'all weigh in. And until the next time, stay shrewd. I think that's all we got for him today.